It's 4 o'clock on a Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another exciting episode of TAXITV Live. Hello, everybody. How are you guys? Good to see you. Welcome to Monday's show. Let's make sure you guys have got me. I'm showing up there. Hello, you've got me. All right. So today we are going to listen to some music that was forwarded for a taxi listing that was for a Netflix TV show, direct-to-music Supervisor. And we're going to play some of the forwards and see if you can pick the one that ultimately made it to the show, which we won't know until the show airs, I think in September. So it's been picked, slotted in the scene. Let's make sure that the scene doesn't end up on the cutting room floor, but pretty sure it's going to be in there. So let's see. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat room. We've got Caitlin Bennett, Michael Mishna, Pat Wara, Andre Stepania, Nancy Kalel, Ewert Williams, Deb and Keith McCall, Christoph Scott, Stu Thaler, Pierre Venio, Darren Fletcher, Marion Laird, Chicago Bob, my friend Lisa, Debbie Ward, Keith Sumner, Carl Wurzbach, hello Carl, Alan McCool, John Granite, like my shirt, huh? Harry Harlow, let's see, Jason Mompremier? Sorry about that. I butchered your name. Electric Guitar Woman. Did I say hello already? Dean Turner. I don't remember. The Justine Jones. Ken Mesford. Will Derryberry. Steve Kaxmar. Hello, Stephen. How are you? Chris Anderson. Terrell Beckless. Riney Bear. Donna Wintergreen. Peter Rahill, Ellie McNeil, Dave Freeland. Wow, big turnout today. Roman Edrising. Sorry, once again, for butchering that name. Cass McKenty. Oh, got to show you guys before we get into the heart of the show. Cass, as many of you know, has goats. And his goats had babies over the weekend. Check that out. It doesn't get any cuter than that, right? Let's see if we've got any. Here we go. There's the mom and one of the babies. Gotta love goats, right? Anyway, congratulations on becoming a new goat daddy, Cass. Oh, man. Okay. So, it's amazing what a picture of a baby goat will do to people. It's like they're cuter than puppies, I've got to say, and I love puppies, but man, baby goats. All right, so let me read the listing that went out. This took place, let's see, January, I think, middle of January. So it was a cold and rainy Friday afternoon, 5:45 p.m., and I got an email from a very good friend of mine who's a music supervisor, works on some big shows, has been doing it for probably 10 years or more. He and I have become good friends over the years, and he hardly ever runs listings with Taxi. He's got his regular, 2 or 3 sources that he uses, and for whatever reason, there are times I said to him, dude, run some listings. Well, yeah, I'll get to it. So this Friday afternoon, he emails me and says, we've got one and I need stuff quickly. So I'm going to read you the listing that went out around 6:15, 6:30 that Friday evening. Original solo acoustic guitar bass, singer-songwriter song needed by music supervisor very quickly for a Netflix show. The sync fee is $2,000. We just got this before closing time at Taxi, but thankfully the brief we got from the supervisor tells you everything you need to know, so we're just pasting it in below. Quoting the music supervisor, : Here's what's going on. Netflix show I'm working on has a scene that takes place in the UK at an outdoor tourist market, and they want something that sounds like a male or female solo guitar busker. Not buster, but busker with a K, is playing somewhere in the market outside of the shot. So in other words, busker, not being seen on camera. Some bullet points that followed: male or female vocal, solo acoustic guitar, folky, slow to mid-tempo, nothing too upbeat. The bullet points continue. Thick British accent, something that would signal British charm to tourists. Must be able to license master and publishing from the creator. Additional note from the show's editors. This actually came in probably 10 or 15 minutes after the initial email. The producer, parenthetically, used the phrase English folk for what it's worth. Not sure if that's pushing more towards sea shanty / pub song or once film territory. Once in quotes, I believe that's a film, maybe Once Upon a Time. So I guess if they have something that's a little more traditional sounding, that's fine too. Might help sell the British imagery. We have 2K all in for this. So that was the end of the quote from the music supervisor, along with the note from the editor on the show. Pretty self-explanatory. Taxi wrote this. Please make sure you are, or at least sound legitimately British for this request. Remember, you're a busker, so some live feel is recommended. This is direct to the music supervisor pitch, so you'll keep 100% of the $2,000 sync fee, plus you'll keep 100% of the publishing and master ownership. You must own or control your master and copyright to submit. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's all boilerplate kind of stuff. So like I said, we published this, I think around 6:15, 6:30 on that Friday night, and the deadline was for noon on Sunday, January 17th. So there you go. I'm going to go through the bullet points once again. Male or female vocal, solo acoustic guitar, folky, slow to mid-tempo, nothing too upbeat, thick British accent, something that would appeal or would signal British charm to the tourist. Must be able to license the master and pub from the creator. What else can I tell you about this? I want to say that we got over 100 submissions, maybe 150-ish. We forwarded a dozen of them to the music supervisor. And then I heard, I think a few days after we handed the stuff off to my friend the Supe, he shot me a text saying, by the way, I forwarded a bunch of those to the executive producer. Let's see if anything sticks. And then I didn't hear anything for, I think, 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. My halo is perfect tonight. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Anyway, so there you go. So I was thinking, I probably should have included this in the listing, but I think at the time I thought, oh man, maybe you're micromanaging and taking it a step too far. I thought about saying you would be really smart to set up one microphone and put it like 6 or 8 feet from yourself and just play your guitar and sing your heart out, because it needed to sound like it was a busker, not somebody in a studio. I didn't say that. And frankly, I heard all the stuff that was being forwarded to the Supe before it went over, just because he's a good friend of mine. I wanted to make sure that the stuff he was getting was impressive, and it was. But I did notice that several of them, if not many of them, sounded like they were done in a studio, and I thought, maybe I should have said something. I don't know. Sometimes I wrestle with micromanaging or not. Ask my wife. She would tell you that, because she's always saying, don't micromanage everything. Maybe that's why the company is successful. Anyway, so that's it. Just like our taxi members that impatiently and understandably impatiently wait to hear from somebody their music has been forwarded to, as a proud papa to all of you guys. Am I your papa bear? I don't know, whatever I am. Group leader. I was anxious to hear, but even though he's a really good friend of mine, he's a good enough friend that if I were in his neighborhood and I called and said, hey, going to be in your neighborhood to go out to dinner tonight or something, want to stop by and see your new baby, I could do that. But I left him alone because that's what professionals do. I figured if something from a Taxi member made it into the show, he would let me know. And I also thought, he could have reached out to 2, 3, 4 other sources. So the dozen things that we sent over from Taxi could have been among 50 or something that they heard. But I was really happy that he said that a bunch, quote unquote, a bunch of Taxi members had been forwarded to the executive producer. Now, remember, for those of you who don't know, the music supervisor doesn't always, maybe not even all that often, does the supervisor actually pick the stuff that goes in the show. Frequently, the music supervisor's role is to pick the stuff that then gets put in front of the director for a movie or the executive producer for a TV show, and they make the final decision. Sometimes it's the editor, the video editor, that could make the choice and then present the scene to the executive producer and see if they like it. So there you go. Want to listen to some music? I do. I'll get my little earbuds out. And let me get to the playlist. All right, and just want to let you know that the levels on these things, and the sound quality, it's kind of all over the place. I haven't done anything. Taxi haven't done anything to affect this, so you may hear me on some of the songs lower the volume a little bit or raise the volume a little bit when they start playing. So there you go. All right, the first one, and remember, we're not judging, anything, please. We're only playing 9 of them because only 9 of the people got back to us giving us permission to play the stuff on the show. So you're not going to hear 3 of the forwards, but I will tell you that the one that is making it into the show is in this list. Let's have at it. No, we're not plus oneing. We're not voting. Maybe after we do the whole playlist, write down the title, maybe keep score at home. And then at the end of the show, I want to see what you guys vote on. And so that's what we'll do is we'll read the titles off one more time at the end of the show. And then you guys can vote and we'll see if you guys pick the one that made it into the show. All right. But yeah, no, that should have a bridge or the vocals pitchy there. None of that stuff. We're here to try and I was going to say second guess, but we're here to see if we can pick what the supervisor or what the executive producer ultimately picked. So here we go. The first one is called 'Twas Once Upon a Time, and this is by the Atlantis Music Project.
Once upon a time, beside the silver lake, a lady stands in grief, afraid of her mistake. Before her God she kneels and prays, she'd find some way to ease her days. But alas, there he comes, a young man on his steed. There's something in his eyes, a strength for those he need. He found a woman deep in prayer. He found a lady lovely and fair. 'Twas once upon a time, beside a silver lake, where some events unfold and young love is at stake. And all men of the land, they tell their lads this tale, where love against all odds doth finally prevail. And girl, and you're the days. For love's mysterious in its ways. 'Twas once upon a time, beside the silver lake, where some events unfold, and young love is at stake.
All right, so that one again was called "'Twas Once Upon a Time" by the Atlantis Music Project. So write that down. And yeah, you know, a lot of these actually I probably should have micromanaged and said one microphone several feet away, don't make it sound too good because you want to sound authentic. Although I don't know if that was part of the criteria for what they chose, if they even thought about that. But yeah, that one had some reverb on it. I'm sure other ones have reverb as well. It was well recorded. All right. So there's that. Remember, 'twas once upon a time. So give it your personal score. Right. And the next one is called "The Long Roads," and this is by Christopher Hargrave. And I think I'm going to need to drop my level back a little. Here we go.
He walks down the long road and dreams of old England, of white cliffs just hugging the sea. A childhood he wasted in fields with white cider, a whimsical thing to be free. He counts all his blessings, too many to mention, a parody time can betray. So here's to St. George, who's still dreaming of dragons, as the rain washes his tears away. Oh, don't worry, my son, you will be there before the night calls. These roads may seem endless and hard, but they won't let you stumble and fall. He walks down the long road and spies the white horses. They dance over waves far at sea. And these oaken promises serve their last purpose. How fanciful memories flee. And dreams of the maiden who wore the white linen are never that far from his mind. She left dear old England aboard a sweet schooner, for time left this great land behind. Oh, don't worry, my son, you will be there before the night calls. These roads may seem endless and hard, but they won't let you stumble and fall.
All right, that one again was called "The Long Roads." It was by Christopher Hargrave. I saw somebody mentioning, talking about in the chat that maybe people should have recorded it outside, but no, you don't want, unless you could record it outside with no other sounds around, because you might have horns honking or birds chirping or people walking by or something. They don't want that because they would put that in. And we don't know what century the scene takes place in. I vaguely remember some mention of time travel, but I could be totally confusing that with something else. But we don't know what century. Well, obviously, if it's probably not like in the 13th century, but you know what I'm saying. So you just don't want to put stuff in there that takes it out of contention because it's inappropriate for what the scene is. So they just wanted acoustic guitar and a vocal and an accent. So there you go. All right. There's that. Now let's move on to... Oh, This is from one of our very own in the chat room, I believe. This is from Lamar Pecorino. This is called The Mist of the Sea.
One-sided love, a handsome young sailor, and well I know that he truly loved me, but the enchanting song of the siren called to him softly on the mist of the sea, the mist of the sea. He told me there lies beyond the horizon treasures that he would be bringing to me. Each day I did watch the tall ships arriving. My heart would sail on the mist of the sea, the mist of the sea. The waves have never returned my young sailor, a jealous mistress she proved to be. The ghost of that love lives on the water and haunts me now as the mist of the sea, the mist of the sea. I never longed for the treasures he offered. I only wanted his arms to hold me. The tears I still cry are strangely salty, salty they are, like the mist of the sea, the mist of the sea.
So there you go. That was The Mist of the Sea by Lamar Pecorino and James Pecorino, and I'm guessing that neither of them were the vocalists on that. So yeah, I saw Poppy Paul say, didn't they ask for contemporary? No, they didn't. And there was a mention in the listing, an additional note from the show's editors. The producer used the phrase English folk for what it's worth. Not sure if that's pushing more towards a sea shanty, pub type song, or a once film territory, once being in quotes. So I think they're referring to Once Upon a Time or one of those films. So I guess if they have something a little more traditional sounding, that's fine too. Might help sell the British imagery. So there you go. And no comments again on anything. We're not here to critique it. We're here to learn. We're here to hear this stuff and then see if we can pick the one that the executive producer picked. All right. Next one up is Just Slow Down. And this is by Teegan Gray. Excuse me.
Sat in the park by an old lady and her book. She starts to cry as she gives me a funny look. She asks me to listen for a moment or two. Well, I sit in silence, yes, my lips are sealed as I think about what I should do. I say just slow down, slow life down. I sailed the 7 seas? Have I faced all my demons and jumped from a plane? Have I lost myself in the rain? I ask, what does it matter to you? All the things I should do. You can't live through others, your sisters, your brothers. You should do what matters to you. I say just slow down, slow life down. You can't live through others, your sisters, your brothers. So just slow down. So slow. Won't you slow life down? Whoa. Won't you slow? Just slow down. So slow life down.
All right. That was Just Slow Down. That was from Teegan Gray. No, it wasn't dispatched. This went out to everybody. Okay. This one is called Ballad of a Busker Man by John Oberkirsch. I hope I pronounced that correctly, John. Here we go. Ballad of a Busker Man.
There's no pride in dying, there's no point to life when a man's only teacher is the edge of a knife. And the only lesson learned is lost in his mind. And as he grows older he falls out of line, out of line. As he grows older he falls out of line, out of line. As he grows older he falls out of line. His time has been wasted, his time is all gone. His time was all spent being somebody's pawn. All he's got left is a glimmer of hope, and no one can take it cause he holds it too close, holds it close. No one can take it cause he holds it too close, holds it close. Yeah, no one can take it cause he holds it too close. It's all he's got left and he'll take it to the grave. The moment he passes is the moment he's safe. The war can be cruel, even crueler to some. So a man with no spirit lives his life on the run. And what he's got now is nowhere left to hide. His pain and his sadness he's buried inside. So take it from him, live your life how you please. In this world full of hardship, it's hard to be free.
Well, that was funny. The audience had a little false start there. Anyway, that one was Ballad of a Broken Man by John Oberkirsch. And it's funny, the next one also has the word busker in it. The next one is called Lonely Busker, and this is from Katie Marie and Nadir Simon. Let's have a listen to Lonely Busker. Apparently nobody's throwing any money in the guitar case.
Down these highways, mile after mile, traveling shore to shore across the British Isles, villages and towns, faces old and new. I'm just a lonely busker passing through. Passing through. So pour the last round, 'cause I am leaving today. The open road is calling, calling my name. So pour the last round, 'cause I am leaving today. I'll bid you all a fond farewell, and I'll be on my way. I'll bid you all a fond farewell, and I'll be on my way.
Oops. Too many buttons. Let's see. Why would they want a busker song about a busker? I don't know. All right, the next one is called Just Like the Real Thing. Big waveform in this one, so I'm starting out with the fader a little bit lower. Let's have a listen to Just Like the Real Thing by Toby Walker.
Keep up. Is this dream gonna last, my friend? Am I down on my luck? Am I swimming too deep? I'm barely afloat, nearly reaching the shore, but I'm thirsty for more. Will you give us some hope? Does it burn down deep inside you? Does it bend before it breaks? Does it taste just like the real thing? Does it make your poor heart ache? Are you praying for revival? Is there longing in your soul? Are you searching for the answers? Is there love you long to know? Oh, tried every door? Did they fill you with shame but not know your name because you were poor? Or are you raising your glass? Are you having your fill? Did you choke on a bone? Should I leave you alone? Would it give you a thrill? Does it burn down deep inside you? Does it bend before it breaks? Does it taste just like the real thing? Does it make your poor heart ache? Are you praying for revival? Is there longing in your soul? Are you searching for the answers? Is there love you long to know? Lost or simply far away from home? Don't give up, just one more try. This time the real thing, this time the real thing. Does it burn down deep inside you? Does it bend before it breaks? Does it taste just like the real thing? Does it make your poor heart ache? Are you praying for revival? Is there longing in your soul? Are you searching for the answers? Is there love you long to know? Are you scared of being a failure? Left alone without a friend? Are you desperate for a savior? One to save you in the end. There's one to save you in the end, my friend. There's one to save you in the end.
Whoops. All right, that one once again was Wanderer by Stefan, Kelk, and Nadir Simon, right? Did I get that right? Or did I just play? No, I just played Just Like the Real Thing, sorry, by Toby Walker. Right? Making sure I'm correct on that. Just Like the Real Thing by Toby Walker. Yay! All right. Whoops. Oh, shoot. All right. Starting this one a note or two late. Sorry, my Apple or my disco playlist is being slightly uncooperative at the moment. Wanderer by Stephen Kelk and Nadir Simon. So I think I blew the names on the last one. I'm messing up here, but that's what happens with live TV, if you call this TV.
She's been walking around here for days, with nothing on her feet but this cold Kentish rain. The stars in her eyes as she looks through the frame, and I don't know where she's going. She's a wanderer. I'll build us a house and a home, somewhere far away from these streets of cobblestone, somewhere that's green with space enough to roam. And I know we'll be happy, me and the wanderer. And I find peace in your love. And you're all that I'm thinking of. And I find peace years pass in this town. Everything's the same but looks different somehow. The clock tower strikes, it's 1:45 now. Maybe I'll never see her again. She's a wanderer. And I find peace in love. And you're all that I'm thinking of. And I find peace in love. And you're all that I'm thinking of. Oh, it's all gonna change. The roses I saw were just thistles and thorns in my brain. Oh, it's all gonna change. The roses I saw were just thistles and thorns in my brain. And I find peace in love. And you're all that I'm thinking of. And I find peace in love. And you're all that I'm thinking of. Everything she said made me laugh. A long time ago now, buried in the past. I have a suitcase all packed and I'm ready to go. And I'll wander through the ages, wandering alone.
All right, that was Stefan, Kelk, and Nadir Simon. Song was called Wanderer. Okay, we are on the last one. When we get to the last one, should I go back to the top and give you like 15 seconds of each one, just as a little reminder with the song title and the submitter's name, just to refresh everybody's memory before we do the voting? Okay. This one, all right, people like that. God music tonight, and good music too, Jesse. All right, this one's called Hyde Park by Thiago Trosso.
On my own, time felt slow. I looked for opportunity, but boredom got the best of me. Forced my toes to find the road. In search of some serenity, the cool air whispered calling me to come outside. I might see something that I like. Throw my front door wide before we start to lose the light. Beneath the Hyde Park trees, oh, I find the sunlight catches me off guard, starts to illuminate, and my face remembers what it's like to smile. Oh, I let my soul breathe in the warmth of my own relief. People pass two by two, lost without technology, but canines keep them company. Enjoy the view, 'cause there's no deeper truth. So come outside, you might see something that you like. Throw your front door wide before we start to lose the light. Beneath the Hyde Park trees, oh, I find the sunlight catches me off guard. Starts to illuminate and my face remembers what it's like to smile. Oh, I let my soul breathe in the warmth of my own relief. The clouds and skies will fade to one with the setting of the sun. I watch as it all turns to gray and say goodbye to yesterday. So come outside, you might see something that you like. Throw your front door wide before we start to lose the light. Beneath the Hyde Park trees, oh, I find the sunlight catches me off guard. Starts to illuminate and my face remembers what it's like to smile. Oh, I let my soul breathe in the warmth of my own relief and lose my sense of time for a little while.
All right, so I will go through and play you just little snippets of all of them once again and give you the titles so that we can vote. And then I have to figure out exactly how we're going to vote. But watching the discussion in the chat is interesting. People are saying, well, it doesn't fit the brief enough. Just so you know, briefs are generated by people who think they know what they want. All good intentions, we'd like a British-sounding busker, or we'd like something down-tempo. And then the music supervisor gets a batch of forwards, which these were 9 of the 12 sent to the music supervisor, and I can see you guys think that they're all really well-written and well-performed. And then they pick something. I'm not saying they did in this case, but they could pick something that's more up-tempo because it works better in the scene, or they could pick something that maybe doesn't have a British enough accent in it because they like it with the scene. So, they're just going on their best intuition. It's not like they create a brief and then when they're listening to the stuff to see what works with the picture, that they're saying, well, this works great with the picture, but it doesn't fit the brief that we generated. Briefs are frequently more or less thrown out the window to varying degrees. So just keep that in mind. Why would it be forwarded if it had no British accent? I will be honest with you and tell you that in this case, I told the supervisor because we wanted to give him a lot of options, and that we were going, this was a quick turnaround, and it sounded like they didn't have a chance to run this listing again if they didn't find what they wanted. I said to him, I'm going to tell my people to send you stuff that's like, A- to A+, versus normally for a music supervisor, it would be all A+. And I mean, there was one thing that got forwarded that, quite frankly, it wasn't played today. I don't know how to say this nicely, but I mean it nicely, which is it was almost so bad that it was good. And I told my friend, the music supervisor, I said, there's one in there that is, I just want you to know that we all thought it was kind of so bad that it was good. And he goes, no, I get it, man. I totally get it. So we wanted to give him a lot of options and give him more leeway than we might have in a different circumstance. So the screeners, we told them, just pick anything that you think could work in this scene that more or less fits this criteria. A little more wiggle room than normal. Okay? So there you go. Let's go back to the top and listen to just a little snippet of "'Twas Once Upon a Time" by Atlantis Music Project.
"'Twas once upon a time, beside the silver lake, a lady stands in grief, afraid of her mistake. Before her God she kneels and prays, she'd find some way to ease her days."
Okay, that was "'Twas Once Upon a Time," Atlantis Music Project. This one is called "The Long Roads" by Christopher Hargrave.
He walks down the long road and dreams of old England, of white cliffs just hugging the sea. A jar dirty wasted in fields with white cider, a whimsical thing to be free.
Okay, that was "The Long Roads" by Christopher Hargrave. Next one is called "The Man of the Sea" by Lamar and James Pecorino. Yikes.
Once I did love a handsome young sailor, and well I know that he truly loved me, but the enchanting song of the siren called to him softly on the mist of the sea, the mist of the sea. He told.
Okay, that was "The Mist of the Sea" by Lamar and James Pecorino. This one is called "Just Slow Down" by Teegan Gray.
Sat in the park by an old lady and her book. She starts to cry as she gives me a funny look. She asks me to listen.
Okay, that was "Just Slow Down" by Teegan Gray. And this one is "Ballad of a Broken Man" by John Oberkirsch.
There's no pride in dying, there's no point to life when a man's only teacher is the edge of a knife, and the only lesson learned is lost in his mind. And as he grows older he falls out of line, out of line. As he grows older he falls out of line, out of line.
That one was Ballad of a Broken Man by John Oberkirsch. This one is called Lonely Busker by Katie Marie and Nadir Simon.
Down these highways, mile after mile, traveling shore to shore across the British Isles, villages and towns, faces old and new. I'm just a lonely busker passing through.
All right, that was Lonely Busker. In case you couldn't tell by the lyric, that was from Katie Marie and Nadir Simon. This one is called Just Like the Real Thing by Toby Walker.
Keep up. Is this dream gonna last, my friend? Am I down on my luck? I'm a swim, I'm barely afloat, nearly reaching the shore, but I'm thirsty for more. Will you give us some hope?
Okay, that was called Just Like the Real Thing by Toby Walker. And now... oh, look at that. No wonder I was confused before. Nadir Simon is a co-writer on two of these. He was a co-writer on Lonely Busker with Katie Marie, and he's also a co-writer on this one, The Wanderer, just Wanderer by Stefan Kelk and Nadir Simon. So Nadir must be a very talented and in-demand co-writer or singer or something.
She's been walking around here for days, with nothing on her feet but this cold Kentish rain. The stars in her eyes as she looks through the frame, and I don't know where she's going. She's a wanderer. I'll build us a...
Okay, that was Wanderer by Stefan Kelk and Nadir Simon. And last, but certainly not least, we have Hyde Park by Thiago Trusso.
On my own, time felt slow. I looked for opportunity, but boredom got the best of me. Forced my toes to find the road. In search of some serenity, the cool air whispered calling me to come outside. I might see something that I like. Throw my front door wide before we start to lose the light.
All right, and that was Hyde Park, Thiago Trusso. So let's have a round of applause for all of today's contestants. Notice I had the bigger crowd. That was like 2,500 people as opposed to my usual 64. All right, so now I got to think about this for a second, how we want to vote. I think what we're going to do, you can't vote twice for anything, all right? Let's establish that right off the top. No voting twice because you will mess something up. Yes, they are all awesome. And somebody said, can I have a link to these so I can go check them out? Unfortunately, many of these, only 4 of these were public on the Taxi members' homepages. The rest of them were not public, so we had to reach out to the members and get permission from them to make them public on the show, which they graciously granted us. 3 of the people that we reached out to didn't respond at all. So that's that. Vote twice is the Chicago way. I grew up in a little town outside of Chicago, down by Starved Rock State Park, Bob, so I know that. Oh, man. Okay, so pick one and give a +1. Now, don't give a +1 because you like something if you're not voting for it. So I'm going to name a song and then give everybody like 2 minutes to type in, your +1. And then Liz will total them up. And when we're all done, she will count them up and see which song you guys think the executive producer ultimately picked for this television show on Netflix. All right. So the first one was "'Twas Once Upon a Time" by Atlantis Music Project. Cast your votes. +1 if you would have picked that one. Yes, only one vote. If you vote for something and then change your mind later, you can't cast another vote. Unless you're voting in the 2020 election. Yeah, I grew up 50 miles away from Joliet. I'm waiting. So far, we've got one vote coming in. Waiting to see if we've got any others before we move on. All right. Oh, we got a second vote. Okay, so those 2 votes came in for "'Twas Once Upon a Time." And now we are collecting votes for the second song, which was "The Long Roads" by Christopher Hargrave. This is fun. By the way, next week's show on Monday, we're going to be joined by a friend of mine named Sean Hurwitz, who is a high-level touring guitar player, who also, because he's been off the road now for a year, can't play any huge... I mean, he's played stadiums with 50, 60,000 people in them. But he's been off the road because of COVID, so he's been doing a lot of instrumental cues and some songs, I believe, with vocals, but mostly instrumental cues. It was a very focused, very exacting kind of guy, but I want to talk to him about what it's like to be on the road at that level, and how he has transitioned into the wonderful world of making music for media. Hey, Gloria, how are you? Welcome to the big show. And then the Monday after that, which I believe is going to be March 8th, I think. Here, let me look at my calendar while you're voting. Yikes, I didn't want to click that. Good thing I didn't just kill the show right there. Monday, March 8th, we're going to listen to the Taxi Top 10 for the month of March. Okay, so we're done voting on that one. Now we're moving on to The Mist of the Sea by Lamar and James Pecorino. Yep, this thing is still on. Cast your votes for The Mist of the Sea by Lamar and James Pecorino. Let's see if Lamar votes for himself. You could, Lamar. Nobody would think it's classless. You're definitely allowed to vote for yourself. I mean, presidents get to vote for themselves, right? Or candidates for president get to vote. All candidates for any election, at least in the United States, get to vote for themselves. I'm sure that there are some countries where the candidates get to vote many times for themselves. Welcome to the show, Music to Motion. By the way, for those of you who are not subscribed to this channel, if you'd like to get alerts, please hit the red subscribe button on your page. And don't forget, give us a thumbs up if you're having fun on today's show. In case you don't know, we do these shows every Monday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do a show called the Quarantini Happy Hour, which is largely just a hangout with a bunch of the people that you see in the chat room today, being this friendly and helpful and warm and wonderful. And we could talk about anything from Cass McKenty's Goats to the Gophers in my backyard to music to studio techniques. Sometimes we have guests. It's just kind of a free-for-all that's actually quite a lot of fun and pretty educational most of the time. All right, I'm just giving a couple seconds. See if all the votes are in for that one. That's right, Riney says it's a great reason to drink beer. That's actually why we called it the Quarantini Happy Hour, is so many people in the regular TAXITV chat room would talk about what they were drinking during the show, that when everybody went into quarantine, we heard about a drink called a Quarantini, so we made it the Quarantini Happy Hour so people could actually feel free to drink and chit-chat. All right, I think we're good on that one. So now we're moving on to Just Slow Down by Teegan Gray. If you think that one was the one that got picked, please type in a +1. I think we might have a few minutes left over at the end of the show, so I want to tell you guys about my... as many of you know, I got Logic a few months ago, and I've been dabbling with it. I'm a retired, legit studio engineer, having worked on a bunch of big records and big clients back in the mid-'70s to the early '80s. Actually, to the mid-'80s? I don't know. I've lost track. Anyway, I've never worked with a DAW before, so I got Logic, and I've been remixing a 16-track 2-inch master that I had transferred to digital about a dozen years ago. Somebody found this master tape in a dumpster outside of Olympic Studios in London. I bought it figuring it might never show up. I bought it on eBay for a whopping $70, thought it might never show up or that it might be blank or moldy or something. When I got it, actually worked, and transferred it to digital and dumped it into Logic. And I want to tell you about some of the stuff I discovered over the weekend. All right, I think we're done voting for that one. So that one was Teegan Gray, Just Slow Down. Now we're moving on to Ballad of a Broken Man by John Oberkirsch. Yeah, it might mean that I own the master. I'm not entirely sure, frankly. I know that studios are not allowed to just throw stuff out in the dumpster, even though it was like 40 years later. You have to, as a studio, you have to actually submit a formal letter to the record company saying, we've got this tape with this stuff on it, and you've got 90 days to tell us where to ship it. I think you're obligated to send a follow-up, and if you get no response, you're supposed to destroy it. And typically, back when I still worked in the studio, it would break our hearts, but we would actually bulk erase these tapes because you didn't want them to fall into the wrong hands, like mine. So then, I don't know. I certainly own the 2-inch tape and the reel that it came on. Still talking about the Halo, huh? Yeah, I want to do a show where I play you guys some of the tracks that were on that Eagles master. It's actually marked Master Recording. And they've got all the background vocals on it. Glenn Frey's lead vocal is on it. Guitar solo is on it. It's not the one that came out. It's a little slower than the one that was released. And some of the parts are a little bit different. And there's actually a bass mistake. It's funny, there are 2 bass tracks on there. One of them has a mistake, and it appears twice. It's just a wrong note, and it appears twice in the song. Halo or coronavirus, God forbid. Okay. But it wasn't just a different take. I mean, it was, they might have recorded 30 takes of it. This was one that they selected and went ahead and overdubbed. It's missing the jangly electric guitar part, and it's missing the banjo part. Other than that, I believe everything else is on there. So they must have picked it and said, that was the take we're going with, and then overdubbed a fair amount of stuff on it. And then at some point, somebody in the band or the producer, who was Glenn Johns, also the engineer on it, probably just kept saying, it just feels a little slow, and that was the Eagles' first single. So maybe they just wanted to do a faster version because it was, maybe they knew that it was going to be the single. I don't know. Okay, moving on now. Which one did I just say? Which song did I just say, Liz? Did we just vote on? Yeah, which one? I lost myself. Ballad of a Broken Man. Okay. Oh, that's why I scrolled down the page. All right, next one up is called Lonely Busker. And this is from Katie Marie and Nadir Simon, the most popular guy on the playlist today. Ballad of a Broken... Nope, I'm sorry, Lonely Busker. Cast your vote if you think Lonely Busker should be the one or was the one that got picked. Yes, I did see. Hi, Edmund. I did see the Beatles get back a sneak peek from Peter Jackson. I cannot wait to the day that comes out. We should do a watch party. I don't know how we could do that, but it would be fun for all of us to watch together. Cass McKenty, I'm picking the one you didn't play. Feeling lucky. I'm losing track. I keep getting distracted. I need to stay focused. And I don't think I've got an ADD issue, but I just announced the song Just Like the Real Thing by Toby Walker. I keep moving my cursor down. I'm not sure if I'm moving it down to the next one or if I'm jumping in too soon. So did we voted on Lonely Busker? Yeah. And now we're moving on to Just Like the Real Thing. Number 6. They're not numbered on my list, Andre, and half of them are scrolled off the page. So I don't know where the hell I'm at. Lonely Busker is the last one. Okay, so now we're voting for Just Like the Real Thing by Toby Walker. I played 9 songs in total today, Gloria. There were 12 that got forwarded, but only 9 of the people got back to us and gave us permission to play it on the show. Stephen Elling, you voted twice. I'm sorry. We're going to have to talk to the judges at the Academy about that. No audio there? Can the rest of you guys hear me, or is it just Peter Rahal? Michael is a good name. Thank you. I'm sure you must have the same name. You wouldn't be saying that. Oh, you hear me? Okay, good. A lot of responses on that. All right. Now we're moving on to Wander by Stefan Kelk and Nadir Simon. I may not have time at the end of the show to talk about my experience mixing this weekend. See, I knew your name was Michael Johnson. Michael is an expert at looking frozen. I am. Whenever I watch back one of the shows and I'm sitting there reading stuff, it's like, man, people who don't know us in this show must just crack up. It's like, why is this guy on YouTube just like frozen? Wow, I'm seeing some new names today. Hello, Mike Carroll, or Corral, and Jax M. Yeah, I'm not playing music now. We played the music already. You guys are arriving late to the party. We've played the music once all the way through for each of the 9 songs, and then little snippets just to remind everybody. All right. It's a staring contest. Wow, I always lose those, but I probably win on TAXITV. All right, and now cast your votes for the last one, which was called Hyde Park by Thiago Trosso. I've got a lava light at the office. I thought about bringing it home when we went into lockdown, but then my poor wife, if you could see, I'm sitting at what used to be our table where the family would have dinner all the time. It's a 6-foot by 6-foot square table, 2 chairs on each side, and it is just cluttered with wires, cables, headphones, adapters, studio lights, microphones, vitamins, makeup, and of course, today's flavor of Red Bull, which is called the Blue Edition. I wish they made it without the caffeine. I actually love the taste. Taxi Banquet, there you go. Yeah, I would love to bring my NS10s home from the office and set them up here. But, I spent a big chunk of this weekend, working on that Eagles song. And my wife kept saying, how many times do you need to refine it? My wife wasn't with me during my studio years. That's why my first wife isn't with me. That's why she was with somebody else, I think. I wasn't home a lot. You get on a record and you're gone for 3 months, other than coming home at 2 o'clock in the morning, going face down into a pillow at 3:30 and waking up at 9 and going back to work again. Not good for a marriage. Ah, 4311s in storage. I loved my 4311s back in the day. I've told, you're new here, I think, so I've told these guys that Bill Simzik, who engineered and produced the Eagles, starting with the One of These Nights record, I worked at Criteria Studios in Miami. Whenever he finished a record, he would literally give away the 4311s that he made the record on, because he figured they probably wore them out over a period of 6 months to a year. And rather than replacing the drivers, because you could buy a pair of 4311s back then for probably $600 or something. So he would just give them away. So I got a pair of 4311s that Eagles records were made on, and had them in my apartment in New York. When I left Miami and moved to New York years later, they got infested with little tiny cockroaches. And man, oh man, I could never, I took the drivers out, just doused the inside of the cabinet with cockroach killing stuff, and put the drivers back in. A few months later, cockroaches coming out of every little nook and cranny. What's on for tomorrow's Quarantini happy hour? I don't know. I think what's going to be on is me talking about my experience mixing this weekend. I made some observations, a topic that we haven't talked about much as far as mixing goes, and it's very relevant to home studio owners. So there you go. All right. Liz, do we have totals? You know what, Liz? Oh, no, I was going to say text me something, but Liz, why don't you... Eric Clapton movie, Eric Clapton in person shows him at Criteria Studio. Yeah, I used to see him there on a daily basis. I worked with him on 3 different times for extended periods of time, sometimes at Criteria. I miss that place. I love that place. How to access the Quarantini happy hour, same way you got to today's show. All right, so Liz, why don't you announce who the winner was by votes, and let's see if it lines up with what ultimately got chosen for the show. Ballad of a Broken Man had the most votes at 20. What came in number 2 and what came in number 3? I'm just It's for my own curiosity. I'm not telling you yet if you got it right. I'm going to keep you in suspense. Drum roll. Hyde Park got 12 votes. And the Long Roads got 14. All right. And now I'm going to break your hearts by telling you that you guys didn't get it right. But it's tough because they were all good. But do they always pick the best song or the most right song? So let's have a listen to the one that did get selected. Where did it go? Where did it go? All right. And the winner, ladies and gentlemen, the one that actually got selected to go in the show. I'm looking for something good. I don't have a drum roll. The winner was Just Slow Down by Teegan Gray. All right, I don't really have time to play it one more time. But I will tell you that when I found out that Teegan's song got selected, which we all thought it was really good, one of the comments I got when I found out which one was selected was they're doing something really cool with it. And that is they're actually going to slow down the song, make it sound like that. And I believe that they're going into slow-mo on video as well. So what I don't know, and I didn't want to pick his brain. He's a really good friend, but, professionally, you don't ask a lot. You just do your thing. So what I'm not sure of was if the slow down aspect of that scene was something that they were already thinking of. And when they heard that song, which was really good, and they went, oh my gosh, the chorus is just slowed down. Perfect. Or if they heard the chorus and went, oh, you know what we could do? We could slow the song down and slow the video down. So I'm not sure if it's chicken or egg on that one. Ken Messford's running the show through a synth algorithm. Great. Anyway, yeah, congratulations to Teegan Gray on that. You know what? I'm going to play it one more time, and we'll close out the show right when it's over. We'll go a couple minutes long. So here, once again, the song that made it into the show is Just Slow Down by Teegan Gray.
Sat in the park by an old lady and her book. She starts to cry as she gives me a funny look. She asks me to listen for a moment or two. Well, I sit in silence, yes, my lips are sealed as I think about what I should do. I say just slow down, slow life down. It seems that you've written many a book, but none of the lessons you took. She asked if I've been overseas. Have I sailed the 7 seas? Have I faced all my demons and jumped from a plane? Have I lost myself in the rain? I asked, what does it matter to you? All the things I should do. You can't live through others, your sisters, your brothers. You should do what matters to you. I say just slow down, slow life down. You can't live through others, your sisters, your brothers. So just slow down. So slow, won't you slow life down? Whoa, won't you slow, just slow down. So slow life down.
All right, so remember, I saw Karen Brasher say, but it doesn't sound British. But like I said, just because they thought they wanted something that sounded legitimately British, that's what they told us to look for. They told the music supervisor to look for. Stuff can get thrown out the window when they hear something that just works in the scene. So it's not like the executive producer of the show goes, oh, well, this is what I put in the brief, so therefore I have to pick it based on what I put in the brief. They pick what works in the scene. And for whatever reason, it could be lyrically because they wanted to maybe the scene was already slowing down. Maybe they were talking about, maybe there was a line that just said, hey, just slow down. Who knows? But for whatever reason, it worked in the mind of the executive producer. It also worked for my friend, the music supervisor, who, like I said, he told me that he forwarded a bunch to the executive producer, and we sent him 12. So a bunch, I would guess, would be 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. So there you go. It's not... Rules are made to be broken. And you can't call up the executive producer and go, but the brief said it had to sound legitimately British. And she does have an accent, Australian, but, pretty close. It definitely sounds like an accent. Is anybody viewing the show at home going to go, oh my gosh? And we don't know how loud this is going to be in the scene. Is it going to be featured? It'll probably start way up and then fade down. We don't know how long it's going to play in the scene. It could just be that it starts right on the chorus, or maybe just like a line before the chorus. And then as things slow down, you hear the just slow down, and then it fades as the music slows and comes to a grinding halt along with the video. We don't know. The one thing that we can be almost certain of, I think, because it's kind of a rarity, is that the song would be played in its entirety. So I wouldn't think that if the executive producer of the show, which is generally the person that conceived the show or wrote the show, they're the showrunner, they call the shots. If that person felt that it worked in the scene, there you go. And it is a great song, and Teegan has a lovely voice. So thank you to all of the members who gave us permission to play this on the show today. Remember to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Give us a like, please, because that makes YouTube like us better. And then come right back tomorrow, because on Tuesdays and Thursdays we do the Quarantini Happy Hour. So I will be here with you tomorrow, and we will have even more fun. Bye, you guys. Have a good evening. There we go. Bye. Thanks for joining.